Hello children, in this video we'll understand few math activities of class 11th. Here we have 4 activities, one from sets, 2 from trigonometry and 1 from complex numbers. So let's understand them one by one. So first we have to represent set theoretic operations using Venn diagrams. First we have union, that is A union B. If any element X belongs to A union B, that means X belongs to A or X belongs to B. Using Venn diagrams, this rectangular portion is our universal set and these two circles represent sets A and B. This colored portion represents A union B. Next operation is intersection. If any element X belongs to A intersection B, then X belongs to A and X belongs to B. Using Venn diagram, this common portion is representing A intersection B. Next we have A complement represented by A power C or A dash. So any element belongs to A complement, that means X does not belongs to A and vice versa. In Venn diagrams, this white portion represents set A, and as complement means except A, so this colored portion represents A complement, that is not A. Next is B complement, that means X belongs to B complement means X does not belongs to B. In Venn diagram, this is our B, so except B, rest is your B complement, that is not B. Next we have A intersection B complement. So first of all find A intersection B. This white area is A intersection B and we need its complement. So accept this, rest of the regions or portion is your answer. Next is A union B complement. So again we'll find A union B, which is this white portion, but we need complement of this, so accept this, rest of the portion is your answer. Next we have A minus B. We write it like A intersection B complement also. So X belongs to A minus B means X belongs to A and X does not belong to B. Using Venn diagrams, only this portion of A is called A minus B or only A. Next we have B minus A, also written as B intersection A complement. So X belongs to B minus A means X belongs to B and X does not belongs to A. So this blue colored portion is your B minus A, that is B only. Next we are given A union B is equal to 5. What it means? That their union has no element. It is possible only if both A and B are empty sets. The next is A intersection B is equal to 5. So it means there is nothing common in A and B. So no common reason. And the last is subset. A subset of B means all the elements of A are there in set B. So whole set A is there in the set B. So this was the representation of various operations using Venn diagrams. In this activity we are given only representation of these two sets. So that's why I will stick to only 2 sets. Otherwise we have Venn diagrams for 3 or more sets also. Next activity is to find the values of sine and cosine functions in second, third and fourth quadrants using given values in the first quadrant. So what we do, we'll draw x and y axis. Let's draw a unit circle. Unit circle means the circle with radius 1. Let us mark these endpoints. Actually its radius is 1, so this point is 1 0, this is 0 1, this is minus 1 0 and D is 0 minus 1. Few students asked me how to find coordinates of this point. P. Suppose we are given an angle theta, then to find coordinates of this point P, draw a perpendicular from P to this OX. So this PQ is perpendicular to OX. Now in this triangle OPQ, let's find cos theta, which is equal to base over hypotenuse. As hypotenuse is unity, that is 1, so cos theta is equal to OQ over 1. Cross multiplying OQ is equal to cos theta. So this OQ is cos theta. Similarly, in this triangle we'll find sin theta, which is equal to perpendicular over hypotenuse. Again OP is 1, so PQ is equal to sin theta. As we write coordinates of a point as the x coordinate and y coordinate. So its x coordinate will be the length OQ and its y coordinate will be this length PQ, which we have got it from here. So horizontal distance OQ is equal to cos theta and vertical is equal to sin theta. So now onwards, if we are given an angle, then we can easily find out the coordinates of point on the unit circle as cos theta and sin theta. Its x coordinate will be cos theta and y coordinate will be sin theta. We are not required this perpendicular and this point. Now we start our activity. How activity is given. So let's take few points in the first quadrant. Here we have taken P1, which is making 30-degree angle with the positive direction of x-axis. You can see P1 OX is given pi by 6 radians. Pi by 6 radians or 30-degree, one and same thing. So we know now how to find coordinates. That is, x coordinate will be cos theta, that is cos 30, which is root 3 by 2, and y coordinate is sin theta, that is sin 30, which is half. So P1 coordinates are root 3 by 2, 1 by 2. Let's take another point P2 at an angle 45 with the positive direction of x-axis. Again, we can easily find out its coordinates. This is cos 45, that is 1 by root 2, and sin 45, 1 by root 2. Let's take one more point P3, which is making angle 60 degree with the positive direction of x-axis. So its coordinates cos 60 and sin 60. Cos 60 half and sin 60 is root 3 by 2. Okay, let's write other points P1, P2. Now with the help of these points, we'll find values of sine and cosine in second quadrant, in third quadrant, and in fourth quadrant. So let's begin. Let's move this ray in the second quadrant, where this angle we have taken P4OX equal to 2 pi by 3. That is 120 degree. This angle is 120 degree. If it is 120, this is 90, that means this angle is 30 degree. Now let's take the reference of our points in the first quadrant. Now with the help of these points, we'll find the coordinates of P4. This angle is equal to 30 degree because this angle is 60 and in the first quadrant we have 90 degree. So we are left with 30 degree over here. As one can easily see, this P4 and P3 points are mirror images of each other with respect to this y-axis. Because this is 30, and we are on the same unit circle. That means we are at the same distance, this side also and this side also. So P3 and P4 are mirror images with respect to y-axis. Therefore, we can easily find out its coordinates. It will be same as P3, just difference will be of sign. X coordinate of P3, it's in the first quadrant, so X will be positive here. But P4 is in the second quadrant, so X coordinate will be negative. So we'll write minus of X coordinate of this P3, that is minus half. Y coordinate in the first quadrant is positive and it is positive in the second quadrant also. So coordinates of P4 will be minus half, root 3 by 2. Now let's move this ray to third quadrant. That point be P5 and this angle is 4 pi by 3, that is 240 from the positive direction of x-axis. And we know this is 270, so 90, 180, 270 and this is 240. So this angle is 30 degree. Now taking reference of previous points, as we can see, this is 30, this is also 30, so this angle will be 60, and the same will be here, this will also be 60 degree. So one can say this P5 and P4 are mirror images with respect to x-axis. So therefore its coordinates we can easily find out. It will be equal to coordinates of P4, just difference of signs, because x coordinate is negative in the second quadrant, and in third quadrant also x is negative, so x coordinate will be same. And y coordinate in second quadrant is positive, but it is negative in the third quadrant, so there will be change in sign. So this coordinate will be minus of √3/2. So by this we have got sine and cosine values in the third quadrant. Now let's move to fourth quadrant. Let this point is P6 and angle is 7π/4, which is 315. 45 into 7, 315. And from this side it is 45 because total is 360. So this is 315 with the positive direction of x-axis. Then from this side it is 45. Let's take reference of other points. This is 45, this is also 45, which P2 is making with the positive direction of x-axis. So again, as we have solved earlier, this is 45, this is 45, we are in the same unit circle. Therefore these are the P2 and P6 are the mirror images with respect to this x-axis. So we can easily find out coordinates of P6. P2 is in first quadrant, so its x coordinate will be positive. The same is the case with the P6 because it is lying in fourth quadrant, and here x is also positive. Y coordinate of P2 will be positive because it's in the first quadrant, but y coordinate of P6 will be negative because it is in the fourth quadrant. So like this we can find sine and cosine values using the given values in the first quadrant. Our next activity is to prepare a model to illustrate the values of sine function and cosine function for different angles which are multiple of 90 and 180, or π/2 and pi radians. For that, let's draw x and y axis. This is center O. Draw a unit circle. Now mark these endpoints. Because it is unit circle, its radius is 1, so A is 1 0, B is 0 1, C is -1 0, and D is 0 -1. Again, as the recapitulation, one should know how to find the coordinates of a point P on a unit circle if angle is given. Again, drawing a perpendicular on the x-axis. In the triangle OPQ, find cos theta, which is base over hypotenuse. OP is given 1 because this is the radius of unit circle, so OQ is equal to cos theta. Similarly, we'll find sin theta, that is perpendicular over hypotenuse, and again OP is 1, so PQ is equal to sin theta. The coordinates of this P, that is the x coordinate, is OQ and y coordinate is this PQ. So if we are given angle, then coordinates of P are cos theta and sin theta. So now onwards, if we are given an angle, then we can easily find out coordinates of P, just as finding cos theta and sin theta. Now no longer we require this perpendicular and this point. Now let's proceed to our activity. In this activity we made this circular plate with this radius line, this ray representing the radius in orange. With the help of this plate we'll find various values of sine function and cosine function of multiple of 90 and 180. At this point, this radius line is making angle 0 degree with the positive direction of x-axis, so we can find sine 0 and cosine 0. You can see it is pointing towards A, so the x coordinate, as we know, represent cos theta and y coordinate represent sine theta. So cos 0 is 1 and sine 0 is 0. So like this we can find various values of sine and cosine. Let's rotate this circular plate to angle 90. At 90 degree it is pointing towards this point B, so its x coordinate represents cos and y represent sine. So cos 90 is 0 and sine 90 is 1. Now moving forward to another 90 degree, it is pointing towards C, so its x coordinate is giving us cos value because angle is 180, so cos 180 is -1 and sine 180 is 0. Proceeding to 270, x coordinate represent cos 270, that is 0, and y coordinate represent sine 270, that is -1. At 360 it is equivalent to 0, so at 360 cos 360 is 1 and sine 360 is 0. So like this we can proceed. So 360 plus 90, that is 450, again it is representing or pointing towards B, so cos 450 is 0 and sine 450 is 1. So like this you can find sine and cosine function values which are multiple of 90 and 180. Now let's find other general values, that is multiple of 90 and 180. As we have done this also, that the cos 0 is 1 and sine 0 is 0. Suppose we rotate this fully, that is at angle 2 pi. So after 2 pi it is coming at the same point. That means the value of cos 0 and cos 2 pi is same, that is 1. After one more rotation, again you can see its value is again it is pointing towards A and its value is again 1. So that means cos 0, cos 2 pi, cos 4 pi and cos 6 pi and so on, its value will be 1. Similarly, sine 0, sine 2 pi, sine 4 pi, sine 6 pi and so on will be equal to y coordinate, that is 0. Now rotating at 90, at this 90 we know cos 90 is 0, and after one full rotation it will be at the same place. After two rotation also it will be at the same place. So cos 90 adding 2 pi, that is cos 5 pi by 2, adding 2 pi, that is cos 9 pi by 2 and so on, its value will be 0. Similarly, sin 90, sin 5 pi by 2, sin 9 pi by 2 and so on will be equal to y coordinate, that is equal to 1. Shifting to 90, that is at angle pi, cos pi is -1. After one rotation or two rotation it will be at the same place. So cos pi, cos 3 pi, cos 5 pi and so on will be equal to x coordinate of this, that is -1. Similarly, sin pi, sin 3 pi, sin 5 pi and so on will be equal to y coordinate of this point C, that is 0. Moving forward to 270, as we know cos 270 is equal to x coordinate. So after one rotation or two rotation it will be at the same place, that is pointing towards D. So cos 3 pi by 2, cos 7 pi by 2, cos 11 pi by 2 and so on will be equal to x coordinate of D, that is 0. Similarly, sin 3 pi by 2, sin 7 pi by 2 and so on, it will be equal to y coordinate of D, that is -1. Generally, sin of n pi is 0 and cos of odd multiple of 90, they are also 0 where n belongs to integer. So this was the activity. Next activity is to interpret geometrically the meaning of iota equal to root -1 and its integral powers. So in this activity we'll draw x-axis and y-axis. O is the origin. Just keep in mind this is an Argand plane. So let's take a point A which is at a distance of 1 unit from O, such that OA is equal to 1. Now let's rotate this OA through angle 90 degree. The new position is A1. So to find OA1, we'll multiply OA with iota. OA is equal to 1. So OA1 is equal to 1 into iota, that is iota. Next, let's rotate this through 90 and let its new position is A2. So to find OA2, we'll multiply OA1 with iota. OA1 is equal to iota, so iota into iota, iota square, that is equal to -1. So OA2 is equal to -1. Again rotating this through 90 degree, let's new position is A3. Now to find OA3, we'll multiply OA2 with iota. OA2 is equal to -1, so -1 into iota is minus iota, so OA3 is equal to minus iota. Let's rotate it again at 90 degree. Let's new position is A4. So OA4 we can calculate by multiplying OA3 with iota. OA3 is minus iota into iota minus iota square, that is minus of -1 equal to 1. So again this is equal to 1 unit. You can do it as many time as you want by taking A5, A6, A7, and in every rotation you will find that rotation of OA or any other point by 90 degree means multiplication by iota. So this is the interpretation of iota. I think you all have understood these activities. Thank you for watching.